The Peak District is a sea of green below a winter's sun. Autumn tries to hang on, but cold days are upon us. I ventured out into the British countryside to look for buried historical items with my metal detector. This place is desolate and bleak, a real wilderness. But these are the conditions that I thrive in. These are the conditions that I love getting out and exploring the world in. Hello, greetings and good morning. Welcome to another metal detecting expedition. Look, the sun is out for the first time in what feels like forever. It's not raining and there's no wind. It's perfect. Absolutely freezing cold. And I'm out metal detecting with my XP-2 metal detector. Today I'm going to be searching 3 fields I've never set foot in, back on the area where I've had some really nice gold finds along the, in 2023. So today I'm going to be digging as much as I can, little signals, big signals, iffy signals, deep signals, shallow signals, just going to dig the lot. The time is 12 minutes past 9 AM. I've got 3.5 hours before I have to go and have my lunch and then head to another destination. Let's go. Just look at that sun beaming down. It is beautiful. And this is my first signal I'm going to look at. 81. Feels pretty big. I think it's going to be a big chunk of lead. Let's have a look. What do we have? And as predicted, is a chunk of lead for the scrap man. We don't mind that. Let's carry on, see what else we can find. Next up, tiny little flake of aluminium scrap. Sounded like that on the surface. The last time I stepped foot on this field, about just around the corner from this wall, I found a gold Edward VII sovereign. It was coming in around 82, 83, and I followed the wall along. I've got a 84 here, so I'm gonna have a look at that. 83. Obviously not going to be gold, but you never know, dear. Well, whatever it is out. Definitely not gold. I don't know what it is, but it looks kind of round and possibly some sort of lead disc, maybe even a field token. Or is it just a splattering of lead? Yeah, I don't think it's anything, you know. Since I've been here, I've been getting a distinct smell of death, and it's getting stronger and stronger, but I can't see anything. But this signal has caught my ear. Listen to that little squeaker. 86, 87, high numbers, faint, deep, small, deep HC, 88, look, that's giving me a good signal too. Relic mode is also telling me to dig. Or is it? 88, look. Very interested in this. I really am in a beautiful part of the world today, nestled away in North Derbyshire in the Peak District. Well, I knew it was going to be small, but not that small. It is literally a tiny blob of melting aluminium. Tiny little signal. It weighs almost nothing. But yeah, sometimes it's difficult to determine size and depth. Sometimes you get tricked, and I've been tricked there, haven't I? This is an interesting one. Listen to that, 99. But it's not very big. It's pretty small. I think it's going to be thick and round. I don't know what. Well, it was neither. It was a big chunk of aluminium. That's quite a big chunk though, it's thick and heavy. Yeah, never mind for the scrap man. Remember, we're digging every target today. This is the next one, 76, mid-tone. I'm not thrilled about it, but it's certainly worth looking at that. Well, look at that, it's a cow tube, isn't it? First one of the day. Never mind, we have to dig cow tubes. This one's feeling nice and tight, look, 82. My predictions so far today have been garbage, so I'm not going to say this is a pre-decimal coin. It's in here somewhere. Oh man, I knew it. Oh, it's another cow tube, look. Absolutely battered, chewed up cow tube like the last one. Okay, so I've walked the full length of the footpath going through the first field and not had a single signal. And then I've walked all the way through the field to this tree, not had a signal. The other things that I found earlier on the way here to other more productive fields, but I'm determined to give these 3 fields a chance. I'm going to walk all the way to the bottom of the other 2 fields, see if I can find something. If not, then I'll have to go and try some other fields. But it is really beautiful out here today. I've got sun, I've got blue skies, I've got double cream in my coffee. It's Saturday, everything's great, I just can't find anything. So yeah, let's carry on, see if we can find something. Well, this is the first signal I'm going to be looking at. It's nice high numbers, but it's not very deep. Pretty much on the surface. Well, look at that. This is what's turning into what's known as a stinker. It's a big brass bolt, or nut, sorry. Big brass nut. Good for the scrap. Well, I've picked something out here, look. 91, small crisp. Next to all this iron, look, near that. I'm keen. More junk, surprise, surprise. No idea what that is or was. Squashed piece of copper. So today I'm using the 13-inch coil today because I've got big flat fields to cover. I'm using Sense FT as always, no adjustments. I'm going to be digging everything, big, small, little, deep, shallow. Well, I've made the executive decision to give up on these 3 fields. I've literally not found anything. I've not found anything today. It's been a complete blank so far, but I've dug a lot of stuff, I've dug a lot of signals, and I've dug a lot of trash. I'm going to head over back towards those trees up there because there's a small field where I know I can find something. I've been there with Paddy Detects, I've been there with Carl, Mr. Noble MDT. 2 hours, I've got 2 hours left to try and find something and salvage this day's metal detecting. This is the next one I'm going to look at. Small, high numbers, deep. Could be a button at best. Well, we called it, didn't we? We said it was going to be a button, and it is a little, perhaps Georgian button, and that is that. My first find of the day. Then just like that, after digging heaps and heaps of trash, you get a signal. I opened it up. It's coming in right, 485. And as you can see down there, we've found our first coin. Our perseverance has paid off. It's going to be a pre-decimal big penny, that is. Copper coin. Probably George V or George VI. Well, there we go, look, it isn't George V or George VI, it's Queen Victoria, and it's a veil head, big penny, pre-decimal penny. Don't know if you guys can see, but the date on there is 1897. Our first coin of the day, found metal detecting, digging everything. This is the next one I'm looking at, sounded like that, 82, 83. Not the best signal in the world, but I dug it, and I feel like there's something round, just there, look. Oh, it's tiny, whatever it is. Is it another little button? It is, look. Little tiny button. Look at that, it's got some crisp detail still on the back. Beautiful shank. Completely blank on this side, but it's another signal, it's another find. Well, this was my next signal. I've already dug it. It's round. I didn't film the signal because there was 2 walkers chatting to me for about 10 minutes. I could not get away, but look at that, that's round. To me, there's going to be a big penny in there. But of course, I could be completely wrong. And I am completely wrong. It's a little buckle, but it's not the worst thing in the world to find, is it? It's even got its pin, look. We can add that to our 2 buttons and our Queen Victoria penny. We're finding stuff now, look. Well, this one definitely sounds funny, and it's not a signal I would usually dig. Sounds almost squelchy, but we're curious, aren't we? We're curious to see what that is. Is it a big piece of iron? I don't know. Well, it was actually a whole bunch of lead. I pulled out all these pieces, and there's a good ½ a kilo there, and there's still a huge amount of signal still in there. So I'm not going to take it out because I'm not really interested in lead. As I mentioned before, that was where I had an Edward VII Sovereign right by that wall. 81, 82, 83 signal, and not 10 metres away. Have I never found this signal before? Very similar, but it's probably going to be lead again. Yet again, another piece of scrap lead. I thought as much. Can't find gold sovereigns on every mid-tone. 83, that's for sure. You've got to dig about 1,000. We'll have a look at that for a signal. 94, 95. It's literally on the surface. I scraped it off the rocks. I've got a coin down there, I'm sure of it. And I think it's going to be a flipping modern 2 pence. Oh man, it is. Look at that. New pence. A 1971 Queen Elizabeth II 2 pence. It's 50 years old. So I've made it onto the field that I was aiming for. It's only small, but it goes right down into the centre of the village. I can't show you the bottom side for obvious reasons, but me, Paddy and his dad, we absolutely rinsed this field, particularly this top spot up here. And I've just had the best signal I've had for 2 months. Have a listen to this. Just listen to that. High pitched, high numbers, squeaky, faint, deep, small. It has all the hallmarks of a silver coin, that does. Digging a nice big plug here, so we don't damage whatever it might be. Oh, I can see it, and it's not silver, it's copper. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because we find ourselves another coin. Well, as you can see, it's pretty toasted. I don't know if we're getting a portrait off that, but it's going to be George II or George III, a halfpenny of some descript. Nothing on the other side either. Got a good thickness to it, look. But it's something, isn't it? It's a bit of Georgian history and a good target and a good find. Well, it's taken me about 3 minutes to work my way down to here. And finally, I've had another signal to investigate. It's coming across as maybe lead, maybe a copper coin, 81, 84. Don't know, to be honest with you. It could be anything that. And we've got more trash, look. It's a piece of gold coloured aluminium. Nothing exciting. Look at that blue sky, it's absolutely incredible. See the two planes, top of the tree. Meanwhile, I've got a glorious signal here. 91, look, crisp as you like. Small. That's got to be a coin, I'm sure of it. It's in here somewhere. You should never dig with your fingers. Pure lunacy. Oh, you're killing me. You're absolutely killing me. It's a modern 1p. After all that flipping Queen Elizabeth II modern spendable 1p to go my 2p, never mind. I'm at the bottom of the field now. I'm going to start heading back up along this wall. But first, I've picked out this little squeaky number here, look. I'm interested. That's got silver written all over it, I'm sure of it. Well, I've opened it up. There's definitely something there. And I'm sure I've seen the edge of a coin. Have I? What's that? I have. And it's a copper coin, I think. Well, this one is really interesting because look, we've got a date down there at the bottom and it's 1769. So that is a George II, and it says Hibernia around the top, and we've got a harp in the middle, so it's an Irish halfpenny of George II. The other side is completely toasted, nothing on that whatsoever, but George II's portrait will be on there facing to the left, a little bit like the coin you can see to the right of this. That's awesome. I'd say that's my favourite find of the day so far. Next target up sounded a bit like that, 80 on the display. And it's a key escutcheon. Seems to be quite a common find for me these days. No idea on age, probably Georgian, a lot like everything else in this field. But that's a really cool, really interesting find. And it's not in too bad condition either for one of those. They're normally crusted. I want to show you this one. I didn't film the signal because I have no time. But this is really, really interesting. I plucked it out from about 7 or 8 inches deep. It's lead and it's got a coin imprint on it of George III. I have already taken it out and I have already cleaned it and brushed it with my toothbrush. But look at that. It's got a clear imprint of a coin on there with George III. As you can see, he's facing to the left, but George III obviously faces to the right, but this is an imprint, so it's inverted. But I think that is from a farthing because it's very small. It's certainly not a halfpenny or a penny or anything like that. Don't think it's from a silver coin. But okay, let's freeze it right there and investigate this further. I'm going to zoom in a touch so we can see what we're looking at. Now let's invert the image so that George III is facing the correct way. To the right, of course. Now watch this. I'm going to slowly introduce an 1806 George III farthing to the image. Now I don't know about you, but this is looking like a pretty good match. So it seems someone used a George III farthing to create this impression. Wonderful. That's really interesting. George III coin imprinted on lead. That is absolutely brilliant and my favourite find of the day. That is it, my time is up. I've had exactly 3.5 hours on these fields. Okay, the new fields are rubbish, but I got onto a fruitful field, and I managed to pull out some coins, a couple of buttons, buckle. Nothing exciting, but it is what it is. I found all this junk as well, but I've been out, I've explored these beautiful fields in this beautiful weather, and I've had a great time. I want to thank you very much for joining me today. Really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button. And if you've got a signal, you're not confident, just dig it. Just dig it, dig everything that don't make an iron noise, and you can't go wrong in this hobby. But thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button up there, and check out some of my content, and see you on my next episode whenever and wherever that may be. After a really slow start, I ended up finding some pretty awesome finds. The key escutcheon cleaned and waxed wonderfully. In this instance, I used a wire brush and some Renaissance wax. Perhaps Georgian era? I believe this coin is a George II. I'm sure I can see his portrait facing to the left. Again, cleaned and waxed, very little detail. Then of course, there was the lead imprint of the George III farthing, which we discussed earlier on. Some really interesting finds and unique finds. As always, I want to thank you for taking time out your day to watch and support my channel. If you want to help the channel out, have a look in the description, click the links, buy the products. Thanks again.